Okay. Coffee, 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 coffee. This is going to be a long, juicy video. Hey friends, it's your good friend Tim Campbell-Smith, digital marketing consultant, teacher, and trainer, and now student? That's right, I am going back to school to get my university degree so that I can teach a little more regularly. And I'm going to bring you along for the journey. I've decided to attend Athabasca University, which is Canada's online university, and I did a lot of research and trying to find information before deciding if this was the school I wanted to register with. And I was shocked by how little information there was. So that's what I want to solve with this video, is providing all that information that I wish I had when I was starting out. So today's video is all about what you need to know about starting out at Athabasca University. Please note, this is going to be a huge and juicy video with a lot of different parts on it. Linked below with this video are timestamps to the different parts of the video and a lot of links that I'm going to reference. It's going to be a handy place to look down there. Generally, I want to say Athabasca University is like a build-your-own adventure, and you have to be independent enough to go on your own adventure. So that's what a lot of this is going to be about. Please note, though, this video isn't probably a lot of other things you're looking for. This video is not about, what the programs are about, what the programs are like, how hard the courses are, because those are super independent and subjective, but also, I'm just starting out. I've only registered into one course to get my feet wet and see how it goes. We're also not going to be talking about habits and best practices because those will come later. Please note, all information is accurate at the time of recording. Things change. In fact, I just met with a student advisor a couple days ago, and even he said that information's recently been updated. So check those links that are linked below to make sure on up-to-date information. Also be sure to like and subscribe for all things Athabasca University, apparently, digital marketing consulting and training. So let's start about Athabasca University. What are some general details that you should know? First, Athabasca is a fully online university. They technically do have a physical campus, but I'm not in Alberta, I'm in Ontario, and I'm not going to be on campus. So we're only going to be talking about the online component for Athabasca. It is a fully accredited university, so that's why they have certain policies, procedures, and we're going to get into some of those in those videos, that to the point that they are a degree granting institution. They offer undergraduate degrees, both 3-year, 4-year honors, as well as graduate degrees and certificates. Note that every class you take is cohort based, and it starts at the beginning of a month. But know that you have to actually register to get into the course about 5 weeks ahead of time, a little over a month. So at the time of recording, it's the end of August. I missed the deadline to apply into a September course. So, and you'll see it in today's video when you come see what the online platform looks like. You'll see that my course is registered to start in October. It's about 5 weeks is the deadline to apply into a course. That said, let's talk about let's start actually here. Let's start with general information on the courses you're going to take for your degree. When you take courses with Athabasca, the first thing you have to know that's different than most other universities is you register and pay for your courses one at a time. It's a little over $1,000 Canadian per course. So I'm in a 3-year Bachelor of Management program. That's going to be about $30,000, probably closer to $35,000 when everything is said and done. But for 30 courses, roughly, it's going to be about $30,000 or $1,000 per course. You take one at a time. You have 6 months to do a 3 or 4 credit course, which is the most common length of course that you'll take. And you have 12 months to do a 6 credit course. But note that you don't have a specific length of time that you have to complete your degree in. Athabasca is completely open to that. Normally, other universities say you have a certain amount of time if you're a part-time student, you have a certain amount of time if you're a full-time student. Athabasca doesn't have that. However, please note, they do have some policies in place on keeping your active student status. If you don't take a course for 12 months, you become an inactive student, and there is a process. I have to admit, I'm not sure what it is, but there is a process if you're an inactive student and you want to become active again in your degree program. But generally, there's no limit on how long it takes you to complete a degree with Athabasca University. When you're taking courses, you choose how many you take. Commonly in most other universities, we see people take 4 to 5 classes a semester. You can take as many or as few as you want. When I was speaking to my student success advisor from my department, he said that full-time students will take about 5 courses at a time. But those of us who work full-time, like myself, who is, I'm consulting and teaching and doing all these other things, we tend to take 2 classes at a time. But again, it's totally dependent on you. For example, though, I'm registering just for 1 course, and I'm just seeing how 1 course goes to really get a feel for it before jumping in much further. Something else you should know about your courses. Rather than most other courses where you have like 1 prof, 1 instructor, maybe some TAs to mark, at Athabasca, your courses have a course coordinator. They're the one in charge. You have subject matter experts, and then you have support staff within a course. Learn who these people are and who to contact. Note that with courses, you can challenge a course. If you have enough knowledge or experience or something in a course and you think you shouldn't have to take the course, you can challenge a course. To do this, you have to apply, you still have to pay a fee, and you have to do what is deemed as the final or the largest assessment in the course to prove that you know what you're talking about. And then whatever you get on that assessment is the grade that's marked on your transcript. So for example, in my program, I am challenging the Introduction to Marketing course. I've taught this at the college and the university level, and I've been practicing digital marketing for over 5 years. I don't need to be taking an Intro to Marketing course. So I'm going to challenge that. Please note that when you apply to challenge a course, you have to apply and you have to give a reason why. I was approved based on the reasons that I shared. So make sure to have a clear reason why you're challenging a course. Other things you should know, there are different course levels. So you have preparatory, which is the 100 level courses. So you could take like Psych 100, that's Intro to Psychology, that's a preparatory level course. Please note, programs usually limit and seriously restrict how many preparatory classes you take. They actually want you to start taking junior courses as soon as possible. Junior courses are 200 levels, and then senior level courses are 300 and 400 level courses. Please note that the level of course doesn't always dictate how hard or easy a course is, and same across the numbers. So like I registered for accounting 250. And when I talked to my advisor, he said, some people think that course is easier than accounting 253. That's not the case. But also some people thought, they could take accounting 300 and that would be way harder. That's not always the case. Please also note when you're registering for courses, and course outlines are fully available on every course, note if your course has an exam. If it does, your exam must be invigilated or watched by someone else. This is part of Athabasca being an accredited university. Someone has to check and make sure you don't cheat and scam your way through your exam. You also have to set this up, but we're going to talk about more of that later. Okay, so let's actually start with the process of how do you get into Athabasca? How do you start with them? Because no one explained how many steps there would actually be here. So first, you start by going to the Athabasca University website to apply. You decide if you're applying into a program or as a non-program student. You would do this if you're just taking some general interest courses or kind of playing the field with your education, seeing what's up and professional development, and all the other reasons people take classes. We're going to gear this to people who are applying into a program. From there, once you've specified that, Athabasca redirects you to Apply Alberta. You actually apply into the university through Apply Alberta. From there, you specify the university and the program that you want to go into. Note that you can change your program later on, but to start, you have to apply into a program. You choose the program, you make the declarations like your name, your address, your social insurance number, and you pay the fee. At the time of recording, the fee is $125, I believe, plus HST. I could be wrong. And basically, you're approved right away. When I applied and made the declarations, it said, you have been approved into the Bachelor of Management 3-year general program. Okay, huzzah! From there, you get your student number, and then within 24 hours, you get access to the My Athabasca system. Now, here's something that was not stressed enough to me, and I want to stress it to you. once you've gotten in here, do the program planner. Linked below for every single program, do a program planner. It is basically a Word document that outlines all the requirements for your program, the required courses, the optional courses, the breadth requirements. Fill this out. Plan for your courses. This way, there's no surprises, there's nothing that shocks you. You don't end up taking any courses that don't count towards your degree. Speaking of which, I highly recommend you reach out to a student advisor from within your department or your school to review it with you. I reached out to a student advisor just because I wanted to know what's up, get some questions answered, and I had them actually go through course by course and review my course plan for my graduation requirements. And they found, and please know, I'm a pretty smart student, I'm a pretty smart person, but they found that I did have a course that wouldn't have counted towards my graduation. And they said, no, this is a business course, you need a non-business course here. So I had to swap it out. And they were happy to, and they made lots of different suggestions on courses I could take that would meet that requirement. So they're also there to help you with that. But start by doing your course planner. However, please note you can't do this if you have transfer credits that you want evaluated. Speaking of, let's talk about transfer credits. If you've been to another post-secondary institution, Athabasca may or may not consider them towards your degree so that you don't have to do similar courses or like courses. Please note this is done though on a case-by-case basis. You declare this in your application. If you declare it, there is an additional fee for it. And then basically what happens is some schools have an automatic process, others it's manual, where Athabasca may request it from the institution or you kind of facilitate it happening. Your original institution will send over your transcripts with your grades, with your course codes, and Athabasca will evaluate whether it can count towards your degree or not. Now, Athabasca has a dedicated team for this, but note that there are some limitations. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but there are limitations on what credits will be accepted and which ones won't. So I know, for example, they have like a time requirement. For some math and science courses, they won't accept a credit that's older than 10 years. After you do this, you apply for this, you declare it, you get your form sent, it can take weeks, and I mean 5 to 7 weeks for them to evaluate your credits. Once it's done, actually one of three things. One, your credits may not be accepted. They may say, no, these aren't good enough, or they're not at the right level, they're too old. Number two, your credits will be labeled as unspecified and go to general elective or breadth requirements. So they may say, like, you took these courses and there's nothing like it in your degree, but we'll take off one of your general breadth requirements. Or option number three, they will apply it to specific credits. So say, for a non-program specific course, you took stats 2 years ago and your program requires stats. They may say that credit applies to your stats requirement in your degree, it counts, and away you go. Again, it's totally on a case-by-case basis on how they apply your transfer credits. Once that process is done, if you have transfer credits, then you can start applying for courses. Now, before we get into the actual courses you're going to take, let's take a look at the general platform, because this is actually the first place you're going to land. Once you've applied, once you've gotten in, once you have a program, you go to the General Athabasca platform, My Athabasca. You'll see here, it is gigantic. It is massive. There's a lot to look at. There's a lot to click. I recommend navigate through all of the tabs. Click through and explore. Take dedicated time. Everything you want to find is here. There's just a lot going on and there's a lot to look at. Again, remember this is a build your own adventure. You need to go on that adventure and take that initiative yourself. Most things you're going to do are going to be on the student homepage, and the most noteworthy parts here, you're going to want to take note of your courses, where you manage your courses, where you request exams, and all of your student records. Now, let's talk about registering for your first course. I don't know about you, this is what I was most excited about. Registering for your first course is done through My Athabasca. You would go under student record and you would click register for courses. You would search for the term, and terms are done by month, so whatever month, and here you'll see an example of mine. And then you'll see the course category, so is it math, is it accounting, is it business, is it science, is it biology, whatever. Confirm your course, selection, choose whether you're doing it for credit or for audit. In most cases for us, we're going to be doing it for credit, and then you pay for it. Now, here's something that's really cool, and I personally got really excited about. Even though you'll register for a course, and you'll technically register over a month in advance to start for the next cohort, you will get access to your course quite quickly. I was told that you would get access within 24 to 48 hours, but I registered on a Wednesday afternoon. I had access to my course Thursday morning. So it was really fast and I could see all the materials, and I'm going to be sharing that with you. Please note though, even though you have early access, you can't do any of the quizzes, you can't submit any assignments, you can't look at the exam, you can't request an exam until your course begins. Now, let's take a look at what Moodle looks like. Moodle is the learning management system that Athabasca uses. Let's take a look at what an actual course looks like. Please note, for this example of Moodle, you are looking at the first course that I've registered, which is Introduction to Managerial Accounting. This class in particular is quiz, midterm, and exam heavy. There's not really assignments. So you're going to kind of see that geared in my course here. But to get to Moodle and to get to your learning platform, you're going to go into My Athabasca. You're going to see your courses. You're going to actually select the course option. You're going to go to that page, and then you're going to choose your courses on the left-hand side. If you have multiple courses that you're in, you'll see them all there, and you'll choose the course from there. You can basically see everything within the course. You can see the lessons. They break them down by lessons. Please note, a lesson isn't something like you would do in an hour. This is like a full section, and they're broken down as lessons. You can see the notes. You can see additional resources, whatever your instructor has put in there. And you can also see where the quizzes, the exams, the midterms, and the assignments get built in as well. Note that all courses have a recommended study plan. These plans are pretty long and longer than you'd see in a normal university semester, but you can take that or you can condense it, extend it, make it customized to you. I think it's worth checking that out as well. But otherwise, this is what Moodle looks like. Whew, that is a lot of information to start with Athabasca University, but you are starting a university degree. Comment and let me know what was helpful or what further questions you have. Remember, Athabasca is an online self-directed university. It's a build your own adventure, and you've got to take that own initiative yourself. Again, review below the timestamps for any information that you may have missed or want to go back to, as well as links to really important details. Give yourself time to work through your degree, and especially your first course, kind of like I'm doing. I'm testing the waters with accounting, and let's see how that goes. Give yourself time to explore, and remember that whenever you register for a course, it's going to be at least 5 weeks before you can officially start. That said, there's nothing stopping you from accessing course notes and information and starting your learning journey then, or whenever is convenient for you. Make sure to come back and see how things are going with Athabasca. I'm going to keep you updated as the program goes on and as I move towards graduation, and I'll give you more tips and tricks. Also comment and let me know, where are you at with your Athabasca journey? One thing I think is missing is kind of a sense of community. So I'd love to know anybody else who's studying and doing the program. Make sure to like and subscribe for all things digital marketing, consulting, training, teaching, and apparently Athabasca University stuff. Thanks friends, we'll chat soon. Bye for now.